Hey everybody, this is Chris from the Great Brick Lab, and we're back for another update. We've been off for a few weeks, so this is update weeks 8 through 10. I've got Amanda with me. Hello, Amanda.
Hello.
So yeah, we're back for another update. If this is your first time here, what Big Robot is, it's a Lego AI sorting machine. We call it Big Robot, kind of our little code name for it. And what we've been working on for the last 10 weeks, Amanda doing the bulk of the work, and me just kind of supporting her and financially, as well as anything she needs to do in the Discord. As you can see down in the scroll, we do have a giving source where you can do givesendgo.com/LegoAI. Any money that's given to that source there will be to use funding to give away this the source code, and any of the Lego AI that we develop will be given away for free at the end of the project. Today's update, I'm really excited about it. Amanda was talking about it with me just a few minutes ago. If you want to participate, there's also a link in the description, so you can join our Discord. You can just join. You can peruse the information in there. There's all types of content and people posting in there all the time. This project is just about to wind up. We got a couple more weeks. Amanda's going to be going to school full time here coming up, so she's going to wrap up her project. I'm hoping to get delivery of a robot, but even if I didn't, it's just amazing how far it's come in the 10 weeks that she's been working on it. Some good successes, some challenges, a few failures here and there, but definitely in the prototype area of this machine, and just totally excited. So with all that introduction, I think we'll just go ahead and get to an update on the robot. Are you ready, Amanda?
Yep. So
Okay.
if I recall right from the last update, I had a auger system that wasn't working.
Yeah, the auger, everything was getting stuck in there, and there wasn't enough torque, and oh yeah.
Yeah. So I quickly decided to pursue something that people on the Discord were suggesting. It's a very common industrial system that a lot of companies use to slowly feed often onto a vibrate channel. So it's a standard kind of concept. I can show you what I have here. So I built a conveyor belt system. I used some of the things that I learned from the last conveyor system design. Like for example, this end part here, I can adjust these screws or these nuts to tension or loosen the belt. That's a new feature that wasn't so hot on the old conveyor. This conveyor belt is wider so that it fits more parts, and the cleats are much taller. And so the purpose was to slowly feed the vibrate channel. So on my first build of this, I had a direct drive, so the motor stuck out, and it was directly connected to the pulley, which you can't see from here, but I can kind of show you underneath of there's a pulley. And what happened, it was rather interesting. I put the direct drive motor on and I ran the program to test it, and it couldn't budge this belt. Like it was just like it was drawing a ton of current and it was not moving. And I just couldn't figure out why, because it seemed like all this stuff was pretty smooth and there wasn't that much friction, like even if I loosened the belt. So what I actually learned is that with the motor that I chose to use, the face mounting feature of it only goes so far, and I had screws going in too far and they were just rubbing on the gears. But before I figured that out, I was like, oh, well, I must not have enough torque. So I added a gear reduction onto here, which was actually a good idea anyway, because even with a 60-to-1 spur gearbox built into the motor, it was not really slow enough. Like if I turned down the power to get it slow enough, it would barely have any torque. So adding this gearbox, this is a 3-to-1 gearbox, which brings us to like what 180 to 1. So it's a really slow drive once you run it. So yeah, that was an interesting little adventure there. It took a long time to actually get all the parts for the gear reduction because I had to order more bearings and hubs to make that work. So that ended up being kind of a dead like 4 days of not really doing anything because I couldn't get parts fast. But yeah, so another thing I shared on Discord was that earlier the sides of the conveyor didn't go out past the front of the belt. So the parts kind of just went off to the side and fell out. And one thing that I noticed the first time I ran this whole conveyor thing was that the parts were going underneath of the belt, like into this space. And then they would go back, they'd fall all the way down there, go into the pulley, and then you'd hear this crunching sound that sounded really bad. There was only one part that actually got in there, got stuck, and got bent. I was not able to bend it back. It was like one of those little, the pins with the shaft sticking out of it.
Yeah.
Like a Technic piece. So I damaged a part.
Okay.
I felt kind of bad about that.
We got more.
Stuff happens.
We got plenty more.
But I upgraded the... Oh, this mirrored camera is broken. Okay, there we go. I updated this, so what I originally had was this long part was sticking out down underneath of the box. I thought, oh, well, maybe I could make whole new sides for this because they need to be longer. But I realized that these parts were not very useful being back in this space back here. Mm-hmm. So I just took the sides, I swapped them and flipped them around. So the back is the front. And then I got that extra length that I needed to keep parts from going out the side there.
Yeah.
So that's just a couple things. And then the last thing I want to talk about is like the hopper. This is the last thing that I really worked on for this system. I was going to use one of those plastic tubs like you get at Walmart, and I tried it too. I took a plastic bucket. It was like I don't know if it was like a 16-gallon bucket or something, but so those buckets, they have a little feature in the bottom of them, kind of like if you look at this one, it has this ridge here.
Yeah.
That is a real nuisance when you want your parts to like neatly funnel out and not just like get stuck. So I was getting a bunch of parts that were just stuck because I needed a funnel piece. And then they would get into this groove and run into the funnel piece and just sit there. So I was not at all satisfied with that design. So what I did instead is I got some more of these sign boards. You might recognize them from the Vibrate channel. We upgraded with sign boards. They're nice and cheap. We actually got some from some conference a while back that was just like wanted us to recycle them, I guess. So now when you dump the parts in, the exhibits go that way.
Okay.
But so I built a new hopper. This works pretty well. It's kind of high to load, especially up on this this desk that I'm working on here. But it works really well, and part of why it works is that I have built this little piece in here. You can see that this is a separate part. And this is a one-way gate. So when I initially ran and I had parts getting stuck, back here, and then they were falling out the back end, and then they were landing on the table. So I put this part in here, and this fills up all the space so that when the Lego comes down here, it sits on top of here until the next cleat comes through. The cleat raises up this flap. I can't really do it very well by hand, but the cleat would raise up that flap, and all the Lego would ride up it, and then fall back down to land on the cleat, and then slowly go up the belt. I can actually run it for you, but I'd have to put down my phone because I need both hands.
Yeah, go ahead and set down your phone. Let's see a demonstration of that. This is a pretty great update here. For those of you that this is your first time watching the video, one of the things that we need to get to work on soon is the dumping of Legos. I hope that's the dumping of Legos. Yeah, that's loud.
That was Lego dumping.
Okay, good. I'm really glad that was like it sounded like
it was not. It was not thunder.
So we have not made much progress on the AI portion of it, to my knowledge, and I think that's a big part of it. So I don't think we're going to have a fully developed machine and functional and operational, but I could be surprised. But the nice thing is that the AI part can be done with the delivery of a robot. We got the electronics, we got the air system working, and now we have a hopper, we have a V channel, we have a feeding system. So much of it mechanically is completed. Now it's just a matter of getting the artificial intelligence to drop it to the bin that it should be dropped into.
Okay, now I can pick up my phone.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's see how this goes. One thing I changed right before the meeting, and I know I probably shouldn't be changing things right before I go on YouTube, but I added this back part.
Sure.
Because yesterday I just had a structure like beam going across the top, and so it was really hard to load. I was trying to load in the back. But the benefit of loading in the back is that the Lego kind of forms a layer across the entire bottom. Whereas if I do what I just did right now, you can see that all of it is on like half. And like the other half is spilling out the front, which is a little bit less manageable than when there's just like a little bit. Maybe that means I just need to take this part and make it go down more. I'm not sure. But I can start running the motor now, and we'll hopefully nothing just decides to get stuck because I'm on YouTube today. Oh, yeah. What is stuck? Yeah, that different loading strategy might have been a bad idea. I'm not sure. Or either that or there's some Lego in my belt from the last test.
And now it's filled with Lego, so now we got to unload it.
I don't know why it's stuck. Had to get stuck though. That would just be perfect.
So one thing I will say that we've definitely run into some challenges with this Lego AI sorting machine. If it was easy, somebody would have done it already. And even a lot of the ones that are videos that are on YouTube of people actually doing this, I will say that they've pre-screened a lot of their Lego and they use specific shapes and sizes. We're designing this machine to take up any size, and it has been a real big challenge.
Yeah. No, I'm not feeling anything stuck in my belt. So I get the feeling that there is something else going on here. Well, I feel like the inventor guy who just like comes in and thinks that their thing works, and then it doesn't.
We only need it to work wrong 1,000 times and work right once.
Something is really stuck.
Well, I think we've got. You got it? Did you find something?
There must be something in the belt, but I'm not finding it. Oh, another possibility is that it's not tight, but I don't think that's it. What has happened?
Well, so I think that we got the basic concept and idea of how this is supposed to work. Definitely some challenges to tweak out of it. And hopefully we don't have to redo the design of the hopper too much. I think this design looks like it should work. We just have to figure out how to get things from getting into the little creeping crevices. One thing that I've been considering is that I think there's actually going to be a lot of value in doing a pre-sort by size for certain elements. Getting rid of the small pieces, I think, is going to be a must, because I think small pieces are creeping into places that are making it very difficult to accomplish this task.
Yeah, I'm very interested to know why this is stuck, because all of the things that normally cause it to get stuck are not being the case today. Like, it usually is either something in the belt or something on the side running into a cleat. And I see absolutely none of that happening. So I am actually rather stumped as to why this is not working. Oh, actually, so I see now. My belt tensioner was not staying tight, so now it's working. You can see the Lego moving up it.
That's really slow.
Oh, that was such a nice, fairly easy fix. I just have to improve my belt tensioner.
That's cool. That is really cool.
You can kind of see how when the cleat comes by, all the parts get raised up.
Yeah. I think we should let it go until it empties it all. How long does it take to empty out all that Lego you loaded in there?
I haven't actually timed it. This is actually running slower than I was running it in my previous tests. This is 0.26 power. I used to run it at 0.3 power, but it's pretty much the same again.
Oh, wow.
It's not perfectly linear, like it's consistent how much comes out at any given time, but I don't really care because the B channel will handle it. So you can see that now that there are fewer parts, it's easier to see how the one-way works. There goes another cleat. It's pretty much empty at this point. Oh, that shaft back there is taking a joyride because it's between the side and the belt. So it's probably not going to get picked up. Oh, actually, no, there it goes. At some point so when I first made this, my one-way thing was a little bit too long. So the angle on it was just slightly less than the angle on the rest of the hopper. See, now it's empty.
Great.
But yeah, I was going to say the angle on that, I originally had it slightly less than the rest of the hopper, and the parts at the very end, just the last 3 parts, just kept riding happily up and down and never falling off. So I had to cut it. But
So how far are you away from taking the hopper feeding system to the V channel and trying to load the V channel?
really close. I am going to fix this belt tensioner thing, and then I can do that. We're actually gonna need to clean up some stuff in our basement to have some people over, so I need to move that stuff anyway. So I might do that today.
And do you have an estimate of when you want to start doing delivery of this system over to the warehouse?
Let me look at my calendar.
Yeah, I don't want to corner you too much and commit to a date that we can't meet, but I'm wondering if you started thinking about that yet.
I have thought about it. We also note something that I haven't thought too much about. I do have next summer. I won't be going to college until the fall after. So I do have next summer to work on code and stuff and testing. So.
And who knows, that Discord channel, with it being live, if you have the mechanisms set up and ready to go, and all we need to do is get some kind of artificial intelligence going, people can work on that, and I can load the code onto the laptop or whatever it is that we're going to use with the camera system. A lot can happen over the winter and this coming fall even.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I can say that I will not have any time during the fall and winter taking a lot of stuff.
This is just my personal view of the hopper. I think it's amazing what you've been able to build here, and it definitely works. I'm wondering if it can actually be even slower. I don't know how big the V channel is, so I'm not getting good perspective, but it seems like it's dumping enough in there that you could actually reduce it even a little bit more. That's just my assessment. I could be way off.
Yeah, so that's true. That's a good point. I could. So the reason I kind of chose the 3-to-1 reduction is that you can tell that I don't have a ton of space here for a really big pulley. I would have to start stacking them to get a greater reduction. So another option I was thinking of was just to run it for a while, turn it off.
Okay.
Wait, run it for a while, turn it off, wait,
yeah, and then
perfect. Just time that.
That's actually a very simple solution to the problem. Just kind of run it in intervals. Once it dumps, wait until the V channel's got some room, and then dump a little bit more. Yeah, maybe even run at regular intervals. Just move it 3 inches, move it 3 inches. Yeah, that's a very good idea. And then there you have to make many other fewer changes, like reducing the feeding system and lowering that gate. You don't have to worry about that. I don't think if you just run at intervals. It's a really good idea. It's actually quite simple of a solution. I love it. All right. So that's updates for today, unless you had something else hidden that you didn't tell me about yet.
Well, my phone is at 15% and it's yelling at me.
I know that you had a post in the Discord about the light box and the lights that you were going to use.
Yes. Okay, I can actually, I'd have to move my laptop if I wanted to plug it in. I guess I can do that. But yes, I took your lights.
Yeah.
I actually like you gave me a lot of RGB LEDs, which I thought probably wouldn't be the greatest to use because just from my experience playing with toys as a kid, I
Oh, it looks like we lost her a little bit here. Maybe we'll get reconnected in just a moment or two here. Oh, we lost you for a second there. So
oh sorry.
you were talking
I
about
was
the
gonna say the RGB LEDs usually if you set it to white, it'll give you something that's very blue. So it's not a it's like off white. Um, so you actually did have a thing of white LEDs in there that was very bright, and I was happy about that. So I took those and oh, this is I have so many cables here. Just a second. But yeah, I took the white LEDs that you gave me, and I found a diffuser thing that I built, I think in 2020. I made something out of foam and like tissue paper or something. And it just makes the light more diffused. So yeah, you can see that
Oh, wow.
there's a lot of light in there now.
Yeah, it is really bright in
And
there now.
it was a delight when I found those lights in there and they were cut off and they were exactly the right length to make it go all the way around the square of the light
That's
box
great.
camera.
That's great.
Did not have to make any modifications. It was a good day. So yeah, hopefully this super bright space here will give us some higher quality images.
Okay. Wow. So cool. All the development that you've done there. All right. I believe that's everything we have for updates today. I want to thank everybody who's been participating in the Discord. And there's a lot of potential for this. I think a lot of us have been taking a break for the summer. I know we did. Amanda and I definitely took a break for a couple weeks in the summer. So we are in the windup. I believe we're going to try and get 2 more videos out, and then we're going to wrap up this project as far as this kind of content updates. So you may get 2 more. Hopefully we have time for that, but I'm not making any formal commitments to that. If you do have ideas and want to share with us, you want to help us enhance the project, you can see ways we can improve it. If you have some AI skills, or, because we go on with TensorFlow, right? TensorFlow is the plan, correct?
Yep.
So we need some help on the Python code and TensorFlow. We need to be able to educate this machine and how to do the Lego sorting. If we went down to a single category, there's so many different ways to do it. I don't have the skills to it. Amanda's talking about developing her skill set for that next summer, and she's willing to put her time into that. But if you have it and you want to bring it to the table for this project, we will definitely take you. Join the Discord, get on the Discord. If you're already on the Discord and you want to start being more active at that, I'm expecting to take delivery of this machine soon. I'm hoping anyways, but who knows? It may stay on site with Amanda for a little while, but with her taking up an active role in summer, she needs to focus on her studies. And this machine is a total distraction from that. And I can completely understand that she wants to shift her focus. She's done a great job of staying focused on this just for the last 10 weeks. So Amanda, thank you. Really amazing. The work you've done there. You also took a stressful situation there. You took it in stride and you just trucked right through it. It's just incredible what you can do.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to check out and we'll see you guys all later.